Sure, Masandawana. I am back another installment of the Yellow Corner, bringing you the preview of our Betway Premiership Game Week 12 fixture as we host TS Galaxy on Wednesday night, 7:30 at Loftus Versfeld Stadium. Yeah, no, man. Doing these previews recently, man. The one thing that annoys me about recording these previews is that these days, in the last few months, I've come to these previews knowing what to expect from the opposition more than my very own team, a team that I love, and it sucks that I know more about the opposition that I think I know about Sundowns these days because I know the Sundowns. Yeah, no. So today is going to be one of those previews where I'm most likely going to talk more about TS Galaxy, what we can expect from TS Galaxy and all that than Sundowns because I do not know what to expect from Sundowns. Yeah, Cardoso, man. But as per the Yellow Corners tradition, we start by reflecting on our previous game, our last game, and that happens to have been our Category A game against Orlando Pirates on Saturday, a game that I mentioned where I was not going to watch and I was not going to attend because I had prior commitments. So, yeah, I missed the game and I haven't had a chance to watch the full game. I've seen the highlights, but not enough for me to make an opinion about the game as a whole, so it wouldn't be fair for me to make an opinion when I haven't watched the full game, but I did watch the highlights, Hanyani, and from what I saw, man, we seemingly played a high line from the little that I saw, which is surprising considering the fact that Pirates is one of their main strengths is playing behind the opposition, so but in this game, from the little that I saw, they seemingly didn't do it in a way that I had preempted and, the way that they always do it in terms of playing the balls behind the defense using their center backs. I saw them playing balls behind our defense from middle field, and exploiting that high line from the little that I saw, and I was puzzled, or why did we do that against a team that excels in exploiting the high line, so, but yeah, I was happy with the fact that Shalule scored, very, very happy to see Peter getting his goal scoring form back, and doing well for the team, and I'm sure this is doing wonders for his confidence, and yeah, the goal that cancelled his goal, man. Yes, what a thing of beauty. What a damn good goal from that kid, man. I wasn't even angry when I saw that goal because that was a very beautiful goal, I must say. I saw on social media a lot of people saying Ronwen should have done better, she should have saved it and all that, and from my side, my opinion is that no goalkeeper saves that. I think it is one of those that you just give credit to the goal scorer. I don't think no keeper saves that in the world. That's just my opinion, and I'm not gonna disagree with someone who says Ronwen should have saved it or done better. That's the other party's opinion. But from my side, I think that was a damn good goal, man. A thing of beauty, man. But as much as I missed the game, I made sure that I listened to Cardoso's post-match interview. And the one thing that Cardoso does with these interviews, pre-match and post-match, is that he uses them to manage our expectations. He uses the press conferences a lot, and I must say that's very smart of him, but the fact that he came to that press conference with a notepad that had a list of players that were not available, and he read from it twice, mentioning the list of players that were not available twice, like I just said, tells me that he came to that press conference prepared to use that as an excuse, to say that's the reason I couldn't win that game, But yeah, no, for me, man, his excuses don't jump anymore, man. I can see through him now, hey, unlike in his first press conference. And for him to even say, people who say he plays or plays or coaches a defensive or negative football and saying those people are talking BS. My guy, we are not blind. We are not blind. And the football that you are playing is not appetizing. And yeah, I don't think I'll even enjoy the what did he say? What did he say? Spaghetti bolognese. Yeah, I don't even think yeah, I'll enjoy the spaghetti bolognese if you are to serve it to me, because what you are serving to us, I know. And the other thing that annoys me a lot, Coach Cardoso, is that he thinks he's our messiah, and he came here to South Africa, found a struggling Sundowns, and took us to the promised land, which is not the case. Which is not the case, you know. The way Cardoso speaks, it's like he found us in a situation near Chiefs in the last few years. You know, we've seen Chiefs go for close to 10 years without winning a trophy, and he was the first one to deliver a trophy for Chiefs, you know, and he must be held at high esteem, you know. And that's not, we are used to winning at Sundowns. When you found out what you've done is nothing special. We like it's nothing that we're not used to, you know. Cardoso behaves and sounds like a stepfather who hasn't stepped up, and is surprised that the kids haven't taken a liking to him after giving him ample time to step up. That's exactly what he sounds like, you know, and he's really starting to tip me off, you know, because with how he wants to manage us and our expectations. What you've done, we are used to winning at Sundowns. What you've done, winning league last season, is nothing out of the extraordinary for you to be talking the way you are talking. You know, I hate the fact that I keep ranting about this guy in almost every game, what do you call this? Kiki in Turkey is some preview. Yeah. Um, Moving right along, the CAF Champions League draw took place this afternoon in Johannesburg, and yeah, man, we were drawn in Group C, a decent group, you know, a group that you'd expect a Mamelodi Sundowns to progress from, you know, very good sides that we'll be coming up against, but Sundowns should be progressing to the quarterfinal. But with Cardoso Sundowns, you just never know what you will get, you know. One of the teams that we will be facing is MC Alger, a team that is coached by our former coach, Rulane Mokoena. Should make for an interesting game, you know. So, yeah, really looking forward to that one. And then there's Al Hilal from Sudan. We similarly play Al Hilal every season in the CAF Champions League, or every second season in the CAF Champions League now, eh? Yeah, they remind me of how we used to play with that. There was a point where we played with that almost every season in the Champions League, in the group stages, in the knockout stages, you know. And yeah, man, the Sudanese, I think this season they will be playing their home games in Rwanda, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then lastly, interestingly, we are playing a team that knocked out Pirates in the second preliminary rounds of the CAF Champions League in Saint Eloi Lupopo from the DRC. Hey, Rotlamona Mukuko, if he will do the nonsense that he was doing in South Africa. But from what I saw when these guys played Pirates, I know it was in a knockout format. I don't think this should be a team that gives Sundowns problems. Honestly, I do not think so, man. They were poor for me in South Africa. We obviously didn't see how they played against Pirates in the first leg, you know, but from the little that I saw, man, we should be progressing. So very, very decent draw, man. It's not a bad draw. We should honestly be progressing to the knockout stages, man. Like I said, we're playing TS Galaxy, man, a team owned by one Team Sukas, and I want to take this opportunity to give him credit, you know, give him his dues, you know, because of what he's done or he's doing with his club. You know, he finds gems and gives them a platform. He finds guys that no one wants to give a second chance, and he gives them a second chance, you know. And by gems, I know these kids when they play in the MDC for their clubs before they join TS Galaxy, we all see them as the next big thing or the next best thing, you know. but they don't get. That's not where they get their opportunities. They get their opportunities when they get to TS Galaxy, and and they excel. So I want to give him credit for that. And in recent yes, there have been issues that the monetary issues with regards to paying the players, but seemingly a thing of the past. And yeah, man, the team is doing really, really well. You a great story has been written there at TS Galaxy. I remember when Madonna was at Amazulu, there were stories that I was hearing about him, and I thought, "Ah, it's downhill from there, for him." But he's resurrected his career. He's one of the captains at TS Galaxy now. You look at Pusodi Tejani, who is easily, and no one can dispute this, that Pusodi Tejani is easily one of the early front runners for player of the season. You look at his stats. I think he's on 3 goals and 3 assists in the league right now. And not just that, how he impacts the game. He's not stat padding. He's performing also in gaming. You look at Mahlambi as well, 5 goals and 3 assists. So yeah, man, they are really doing well, TS Galaxy. So credit to the club as a whole, man. Going into this game, obviously their threat will come from the two guys that I just mentioned in Mahlambi as well as Pusodi Tejani. They are two wide forwards, and yeah, man, they are very good at eliminating players. Bali too, they are very good at finding and exploiting spaces in the half spaces, and they also swap sides a lot constantly during the game. They also swap the sides, so that disrupts the plans that the opposition, because you plan or no, Puso is gonna stay on the left, he moves to the right, Mahlambi comes to the left, and all that. So I think they will continue to do that against us on Wednesday. Mahlambi there's similarly great telepathy between the two boys, because Mahlambi's 2 goals have come from crosses from Puso. In their last game against Stellis, Puso crossed for him and he scored a header in the game against Chipa. Puso took a free kick and Mahlambi scored a header. And for a very short guy, he scores good headers, but it's all down to positioning. At times, height doesn't have to do a lot. Yes, it does have to do with the goals when you get the goals, get the headers, but positioning, I think, is more important than height for me. One of my all-time favorite players to have played in the PSL, more so when he was at Pirates, Tso Vilakazi, was a great header of the ball. His positioning was second to none, but he also had a great leap as well. So yeah, man, we need to be careful of those boys. They are going to miss one of my favorite players in the league, in Mpho Mvelase, who is suspended for this game, Ronald Lebona, because what that guy gives them, man, is something else. He's key in their defense and in their attack. He's been used. Hey, the flow is not flowing. He's been used as a false nine in some games, and he's delivered. Yes, his runs may not be that good at times, his positioning may not be perfect at times, but he does the job. And yeah, they are going to miss him. And the work rate Mpho Mvelase is second to none, man. That guy, he's a proper professional, and I think he will be a big miss for them in the middle of the park, and in everything that they do or plan to do on Wednesday, man. A hardworking team, a very hardworking team. They are pressing and counter pressing is on point, and they are proper Mad Dogs. They remind me of the Mad Dogs that Sundowns a few seasons ago, and yeah, they won't stop working, and I think they are gonna press us high and try and make sure they win the ball as high as possible and create chances up the field, because they have seen Canadian team here, Magesi, and which other team doing this again? And Golden Arrows, if I'm not mistaken, do that, and it worked wonders for them. So I won't be surprised if Beganovic employs same or very similar tactics. With Sundowns, guys, I honestly don't know what to expect from our boys. I just hope the individual brilliance that the players get us the 3 points. How, I do not know. I honestly don't know. And yeah, that's that, man. Going into the lineup, I don't think he will change it. I think he will go with the almost same lineup, or obviously bring back Debza for Ubas, but I think he will go with the same lineup, and it's difficult for me to say if this is good or not, having not watched the game, yeah, Pirates. So I think that's the lineup he will go for, and hopefully the individual quality, yeah, Junior Kanye comes through for us. And yeah, I'll go with the prediction that I went with in our last game, yeah, 2-1. The next preview will most probably be on the weekend that 22 November, match day 1, yeah, CAF Champions League group stages. But that may change if the league, or we find an opposition for this coming weekend and we play a league game, because Cardoso in the pre-match press conference at Gamia Pirates, he alluded to the fact that they've been trying to get an opponent for this coming weekend, but they haven't been lucky. I think he had said they've tried 4 teams, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, they've not been lucky. So if we don't find an opponent, the next preview will be CAF Champions League that weekend that I mentioned. And if not, if we happen to find an opponent, there will definitely be, let me not say definitely because you never know what might happen, there will be a preview during the week. Good luck to the boys. Good luck to the technical team. Hopefully we get going in our third game block and we get the remaining points from this maximum points from this game block. Until next time, sharp masanda.